Hello everyone, I'm going to show you today how to retexture a car for the Simpsons Hit and Run the proper way. That's not true, there is no proper way to do it, so your mod, do what the fuck you want. But this is the best way and how I reckon you should do it from now on. So we have a Canyonero retexture here. This is made by Homie Simpson 499. It's quite nice. I like how they've taken the roof off. It's more of a Jeep. It's a nice purple. But if you look at the damage textures, you see it doesn't fit into the style of the game. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the original Canyonero here, you see if you look at the damage textures on this one, this is more in the style of the game. This is what you would expect to see, and when you're doing these retextures, your car is going to be next to these other cars. You want them to look consistent, right? So the first thing you want to do is, you actually see it up here, they've changed the name of it to Lisa Jeep. We're going to do that to our reference here, and the reason we're going to do that is because it changes the name of some of the texture files, well, texture chunks, whatever, and this is going to make it a lot easier for us to just drag and drop all the changes in at the end, right? And then need to export them, save them anywhere, and what we're going to use for this retexture is Critter. I use Critter. A lot of people in the community use paint.net. I actually don't know if they still do that, but last time I checked they did. And we're just going to load all of our all of our textures into here. There we go. And most of these textures we don't need to change because we're not going to change that. That's used for like the lights, spark or something. Engine. We're not going to start on the damage texture yet. We're going to find a nice reference image. Here we go, perfect. So we're going to adjust the HSV values here. This is where it is in Critter. In your editor, it might be under hues or maybe saturation, I don't know. But the good thing about doing it with the hue slider is you see it doesn't change like the handles and the trim because they're usually white. It just changes the colors, and obviously white and black aren't colors, they're shades. So this is really easy. It's just a drag and drop sort of process, but we're going to try and match it to our reference here. So it's a very saturated sort of purple. If I knew any colours, I'd say it's a midnight purple, but it's a bit wankery, isn't it? Up saturation there. Like that? Like that, maybe? I actually don't know what colour that is. It's more on this side. Maybe make it a bit darker. I'm going to say that's close enough because I'm not going to spend too much time on this. And we're just going to put OK, and then save and overwrite it. And the reason I use Critter here is because it saves in, I guess, the buffer, the last effect. You see here, Control F just to apply that same filter again. So if we go over here, you can see it's damage texture, and Control F, and it doesn't change all the scratches and stuff because they're whites and greys and they don't get changed. They're not colours, right? Which is really easy for us actually. Here's our first problem. If we just Control F it, it's going to change the lights here, and we don't always want to just change everything in the texture, right? So the best way to go about this is usually select everything you don't want to change, because that's usually faster than choosing everything you do want to change. So it's just those we don't want to change, and if you go to select and invert here, it's going to just select everything else, and then we can press Ctrl F, and that's what we want. And we'll do the same on here. And we're just going to keep doing that across all the textures, then saving them. So here's our first problem. You see here it's sort of awkward shapes. It's going to be hard to just select everything. So when it's weird like this, it's the same process, just select everything you don't want to change, but it's going to take a little bit more time. Oh, actually, that's probably fine, because that's just whites and greys, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. Go across. Doesn't take too long, but it is quite a tedious process. Nobody really wants to do it, do they? But there's harder things. A lot of cars in Hit and Run have an interior texture, like this one. This is like the dashboard and the seats. But you see down here, there is still a little bit of, like, I don't know, car. So we want to get that too. Oh, look at that, that's a nice and easy one. Alright, I think that's all the textures that need to be changed are done. So we're going to open our edit here, and we're just going to go through and just import all of our changes. And you see now why having the same name is quite handy to do from the start, because you only have to go and click them, it will find it automatically, which is bless. See, look, here we are. So you see now that looks much better already. It looks more like in the game, not so much MS Paint, you know. And I'm not hating or anything, you know. Maybe he wanted it like this. I don't know. It's his mod, but this is how I would do it. But who am I to judge anyone's artistic direction? Oh, it's a duplicate texture there. I believe that's all of them. And you see already, I think that looks much better. You know, it's definitely going to fit in with the game more.